Welcome to Brew, where you can create and send on-brand email campaigns and automations in seconds using AI. Most businesses spend days going back and forth between designers, copywriters, and developers just to get one email out the door. You're dragging blocks around in clunky editors, fighting with HTML to make sure nothing breaks in Outlook, and by the time you actually hit send, the moment has passed. Brew changes all of that. You describe what you want, and Brew builds it, designed, coded, and ready to send. Let's have a look at Brew in action. For this demo, I'll use Clay as the example brand and show the three core parts of the experience: brand setup, email creation, and editing. I'll start by connecting Clay's brand. All I need to do is enter Clay's website URL. From there, Brew starts building a deep brand model. What's happening behind the scenes is more than a website summary. Brew crawls the site, extracts Clay's voice, positioning, colors, typography, layouts, imagery, and content. It also begins vectorizing Clay's visual assets into searchable memory. That matters because when I later ask Brew to create an email, it isn't guessing what on-brand means. It has a working model of how Clay looks, sounds, sells, and communicates. This model also keeps improving. As I review, edit, and approve work in Brew, the system learns more about my preferences and the specific style I want for Clay. Now that the brand model is ready, I can create emails from natural language. For example, I can ask, create 3 alternative designs for a Clay newsletter. I really like Windows 95 and Retro Arcade. One of them should also just be a classic Clay design. What I want to show here is that Brew can take a creative direction and still keep the output on brand. It should not just make something random and retro. It should understand Clay's underlying brand system and create distinct emails, including one that stays closer to the classic Clay style. Now I can ask something very different. Search the internet and write a May newsletter with our latest launches. In this case, Brew can use external context, understand what Clay has recently launched, and turn that into a newsletter that is still grounded in the Clay brand model. That flexibility is important. Brew understands when to diverge, when to preserve, when to research, and when to adapt. Once the emails are created, I can edit them in 2 ways. First, I can make direct manual edits. I can click into the email and change copy, buttons, images, sections, variables, or layout details. Second, I can keep working through natural language. For example, I can say, make the hero stronger, animate the hero image, shorten the copy, create a darker version, swap this image, but keep the layout. This is where the product becomes really powerful. I get the speed of AI generation, but I'm not trapped in a black box. I can prompt, inspect, manually adjust, and keep iterating until the email feels right. And because Brew has the Clay brand model in the background, each edit still happens inside that brand context. Finally, I want to show what this looks like in production with one of our customers, LiveFlow. This is their actual Brew workspace. What you're seeing here is not a mock-up or a one-off demo. This is a customer using Brew as their email creation system of record. A few things are worth pointing out. First, LiveFlow has many on-brand emails on the canvas at once. These are not isolated generations. They are organized into campaigns and sequences with consistent branding across the whole workspace. Second, you can see the iteration density. There are multiple versions and variations of similar emails. That is one of the big behavior changes Brew unlocks. When creating a new on-brand email or variant takes minutes instead of days, teams naturally create and test more. Third, this shows the Canvas workflow in practice. The user can zoom out, see the full lifecycle program, compare designs side by side, select emails, and keep working through chat or direct editing. And fourth, this is the Jevons paradox point in action. Brew does not just make one email faster. It changes how much lifecycle marketing a team can realistically do. LiveFlow can produce more campaigns, more variants, and more consistent lifecycle content without needing a larger team. Brew turns email creation from a slow production bottleneck into a high-velocity creative workflow. And that's the core workflow: brand setup, email creation, editing, and what it looks like in production with a real customer. Brew also exposes these capabilities through API access, so any AI agent like OpenClaw or Claude Code can generate on-brand emails through Brew. If you point your agent at Brew's docs, it can set everything up and start creating production-ready emails programmatically. Our belief is that every human and every agent should be able to generate on-brand emails that render perfectly across inboxes. Brew's brand model and email generation engine makes that possible.